Hi everyone and welcome to a new episode of Days Podcast along with a new video. I want to tell you guys, I want to thank you again for liking, subscribing, viewing, watching, and listening. I truly appreciate it. We will definitely be doing more videos over time. It never ends. Especially when it comes to Patreon and Spotify. Exclusively, we will be doing a lot on there as well. So, I wanted to actually continue making free content with you all, and we are going to talk about the Spice Girls with their Forever album. Let's get into it. So, Forever is the third and final studio album by English girl group The Spice Girls, released on the November 1st, 2000 by Virgin Records. It is their only album without Geri Halliwell, yep. Who later rejoined the group for their Greatest Hits album in 2007. So, yeah, the Greatest Hits is a Greatest Hits album by the English girl group Spice Girls. It received a physical release worldwide throughout November 2007, except for the United States, where it received a limited release on November 6, 2007 through Victoria's Secret. Victoria's Secret, and a full release on January 15th, I believe 2008. But yes, this was the album where Geri was not involved at all. It was recorded July 1998 as far as with Goodbye, as opposed to August of 1999 to July of 2000. So 2 out of the 5 members, I believe Geri had children in the midst of this too, but Nell B and Victoria had children, okay? And, they were touring, and a lot was going on by 2000, a lot. Never mind 99. Forever peaked at number 2 on the UK albums chart, becoming the album's, wow. Okay. So it was becoming the group's only studio album to not top the UK's chart. It didn't chart. What? Are you serious? It didn't chart at the top. It's the only one that didn't. It was later certified platinum by the British phonographic industry. The album also only reached number 39 on the US Billboard 200. Worldwide, the album has sold over 2 million copies, a commercial disappointment compared to their 2 previous albums, Spice and Spice World. Yes, the lead and only single, the double A-side, Holler, and Let Love Lead the Way, went on to debut at number 1 on the UK singles chart, becoming the group's 9th number 1 single. Their 1998 Christmas single, Goodbye, released almost 2 years earlier, was also included on the album as the closer, Tell Me Why, Weekend Love, and If You Want to Have Some Fun, okay, were released as promotional singles from the album, with the latter having a montage music video released exclusively to European music stations. Okay. So there was 3 singles that were promotional, as opposed to Goodbye and Holler, Let Love Lead the Way. So, they was really doing their best to make sure their fans knew that they wanted to still continue, but they were growing up. They were women, okay? This was the time where they were really like, if we don't have Geri, we gonna fall back after this one, okay? During the Spice World tour in early 1998, yes. And I would have went to this tour. I was too young though. Not even that I was too young, but I just wouldn't know if I would have been able to really go to the UK and be there. And there was just everybody there, okay? The Spice World Tour was the debut concert tour by English girl group The Spice Girls. This was their debut tour. Oh my God. It was launched in support of their first and second album, Spice and Spice World, a year, apart respectively. The sellout European North American tour ran from February to August 1998, after which returned after in a later date. We can read more into this tour too, but the group took an initial project to write and record songs for a possible third album and a live album. Okay, so they were going to come out with a live album from, the Spice World, as opposed to having a third album. And that would have been everything. When you really think about that, that would have been really good, because after they would have been done touring, they would have had the live album, as opposed to here's a brand new album, more music videos, and more commercials, as we know, and then the movie would have had more justice, because then there would have been another movie, and it would have been a concert movie, more or less, than them kind of just bringing us into a concert by the end of the movie. It would have been a real concert movie, so it would have been part two. And I can just imagine what that would have looked like. I mean, that still can kind of happen if they took all their tour footage together and still came out with a live album. Like, they still can do that. But at that time, how magical that would have been, to where Forever wouldn't have been Forever. It would have been just their third album as all of them together. Just let's just continue, y'all. The original concept for this album was to showcase solo songs, duets, and cover songs featuring all 5 members, in order to promote the idea that the Spice Girls were all individuals, yet could come together as one. The girls went to Dublin's Windmill Lane Studios with longtime collaborators Richard Stannard and Matt Rowe to work on a new album and create master recordings for a live album. Okay. With the sudden departure of Jerry, the project took a major turn, with many of the already produced songs scrapped and the live album canceled. So this is what I'm saying. We were gonna get a third album. It was pretty much done. From them saying that many of the already produced songs being scrapped, it was pretty much done. It's giving. And then as far as a live album being canceled, it was canceled because she left. If they had kept going and finished the tour, they would have had more than enough footage, as opposed to live audio, to make that live album. And they were right there. They were right there. The Spice Girls recorded their Christmas single, Goodbye, in July 1988 during the North American leg of their Spice World Tour. Once again, the girls teamed up with Stannard and Rowe. The following year, they recorded My Strongest Suit for the concept album for the musical Ida. In the 2 years between the release of Goodbye in December 1988 and the release of Forever in November 2000, the group, along with the pop music landscape in general, changed dramatically. Hoping to cultivate a more mature image, the group teamed up with a team of American producers to give Forever a more R&B sound. However, initial recording sessions maintained the pop sound for, of their previous works. So, that would have been crazy. Yes, let's look at this. So, in August 2000, the album's title was revealed through a poll on the group's official website, in which fans voted for what they thought the title would be. So they had a poll. They had fans decide, okay, well, what do you want this next album to be called? Okay. The album's cover has the girls clinging to each other as if they were holding on for dear life, according to Pop Matters Peter. I can't say their last name, but intertwined, And I mean, it's fitting because, you know, forever you're wanting, you know, as over time with it being going on 25 years, it's just like, oh my God, like, we really haven't had another album since. EMI Music Japan first released Forever in Japan on November 2000, with a remix of Holler serving as a bonus track. It was distributed 5 days later in the United Kingdom by Virgin Records and on November 7th in North America by EMI. The album leaked on Napster a week prior to its release. That would explain. And if you guys check out my Monica video with All Eyes on Me, similar happened to her, but literally a year later, I believe, in like 2000, 2002. I mean, 2001, 2002, like around there. Like literally, people downloading and albums and things getting leaked was really becoming a thing by the 2000s as well. And they would have had a solid sale if they, I don't know. First of all, this is the second video so far, episode, where I'm talking about an album that is being distributed to Japan first and then coming to the UK and then the US. And this tactic, if I'm seeing it more than 5 different times, seems a little intentional. I'm sorry. It just, we keep it real around here, because it's just, not to say that it's not, because, you know, that's how it was released, but it's just kind of like, well, wait a minute now. Every time these albums go overseas, because they were going into a time of people getting leaked, their sales suffered. And that's why also, for those that had decided to go independent at that time, they're able to be okay now, because all the streams and stuff on their name, they still get, you know, a good amount, as opposed to how they had to distribute with a label, however the case may be. But you get what I'm saying. Yeah, to promote Forever, the Spice Girls performed Holler and Let Love Lead the Way on British televised shows such as the National Lottery Stars, SMTV, Live, Top of the Pops, and CD UK. The group also gave a performance Holler at the 2000 MTV Europe Music Awards on November 16, 2000 in Stockholm, Sweden. Before the performance, Chrism declared that it would be their last appearance together before going on a hiatus to focus on their solo careers. During the performance, the group wore leather outfits, ending with them going through the floor with large orange pyrotechnic flames blazing up. Additionally, the band's members hosted TFI Friday on November 10th as part of the album's promotion. In October 2000, Melanie Brown mentioned that a tour to promote Forever would take place in late 2001, and it would be global, including dates in America. However, the tour never came to fruition due to their solo projects. Yeah, so, Mel B and C had solo projects, Emma had solo projects, Victoria had solo projects. They all had their own thing, okay? The Spice Girls did not heavily promote Forever as much as their previous albums, and the promotional campaign was ceased in December 2000 as the group went on they went on an indefinite hiatus. The following month, group member Emma Bunton officially stated that the record seems to have come to a natural end. I want to concentrate on solo projects, and there is no time to release a single now. All our individual projects are scheduled, and we wouldn't have time for any promotion. It's almost like they gave us this album as a farewell, but also as like a push to what they wanted to do for when they could come back. And it's not necessarily a completely bad thing. Some say selfish, but then at the same time, there's no Jerry in here. Like there's a, you know, they're trying to captivate and keep people feeling as though Jerry could come back, or that even with them being just 4 of them for right now, that they could still sell and still be great. And unfortunately, it just didn't work that way. Forever received mixed reviews from music critics. At Metacritic, which assigns a normalized rating out of 100, the album received an average of 45 based on 9 reviews. So with that being said, because you guys have seen plenty of episodes and videos so far where I've talked about higher ratings, and this is one of those videos where, yes, I am not as positive here to say that this is not good. This was bad. The album was not bad to me. I thought the album was not their best because, of course, there's no Jerry, but also I feel as though it's still good because they did continue, you know, and it's not a takeaway for me. I think that this still was a good album either way, though it is showing here that no one really liked it as much. There's 2 out of 5, 4. There's one that is pretty much 4, which is from Jam, but everywhere else I see a C. I see a 1 star too. Just it did not do as well. But ultimately, I think that, you know, yeah, other reviews were more positive. The album's production, yeah, they didn't do as bad, but they, you know, it wasn't that they did bad to me. Like, you know, I just didn't think that because of promotion, because of them all wanting to do their own thing, that it would be able to stand on its own if they had the time. So yeah, Forever debuted at number 2 on the UK albums chart with 71,000 copies sold in its first week, behind Westlife's Coast to Coast. The album spent a total of 10 weeks on the chart. It was certified platinum by the British phonographic industry on November 17, 2000, denoting shipments in excess of 300,000 copies. In the US, the album debuted at number 39 on the Billboard 200, selling 34,000 copies in its first week. It spent 7 weeks on the chart. By 2006, it had sold 207,000 copies in the US. So, I have said in previous videos that even if an album is in the top 40, it's not bad, okay? You know, of course, the top 20 is where, you know, you kind of be like, all right, you know, it's gonna sit, you know, but yeah, for it to be at number 39 here, you know, with other albums that were out at that time in 2000, you know, they did what they could do, okay? So let's get into the track list. So track 1 is Holler. Track 2 is Tell Me Why. Track 3, Let Love Lead the Way. So yeah, by track 3, I'm bodying. you know, this is it's getting fun, and of course by track 4, we have Right Back at Ya. Track 5, Get Down With Me. Track 6, Waste My Time. Track 7, Weekend Love. Track 8, Time Goes By. Track 9, if you want to have some fun. Track 10, Oxygen. Yeah, that was a ballad. Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis had a couple of songs that were a part of this album. Track 11, Goodbye. Track 12, Holler, MAW remix. But yeah, that's pretty much the album. Yeah, by the year-end performance chart, well, their chart performance for this pretty much, they were at 59 for the UK albums from 2 by the end of the year. I can't say that's too bad. That means that people were still going to buy, and people were still kind of just like, all right, you know. And that was only within, you know, for, you know, some weeks or so. So it's not like too bad. But yeah. I do want to say that for what it's worth, this was an album that, you know, when you kind of put them together, and even if they were to come out with a comeback album, it would be legendary. It would be as if they never left. I think that, you know, just even kind of coming out with unreleased songs along with coming back with a new album, I don't think their fans wouldn't mind. And even making new fans familiar. Retouching the Spice World movie, okay? You know, there could be a couple things that could get done. But and yes, if there's any tour footage that has them all to where it is good enough to have a live album and a live movie, and kind of putting into perspective where they are now as mothers, yeah, I would definitely think that would be a great idea. But until then, I thank you guys so much for listening and watching, and I'll be back with more.